Thank you very much for coming out of your busy schedule. Thank you. Well, this session we would like to discuss under the theme of Olympic and legacy. Well, this is going to be the session right after what we heard from the Miss Koike about the Olympics, Tokyo Olympics. And then so the ice break, I would like to ask the two of you, what sports are you interested in, and what sports would you like to embark on or try out? Well, I was born in the South Island, the Kagoshima, and recently I am doing the golf, whereas in the younger ages I was doing the skiing. And then I do some 10 minutes routine exercise in the morning. I do it every day. So that's what I would like to be proud of. And Mr. Katanozaka, I think that I saw a TV program that focused on the lunch contents, and you said waffles and cream bread, the bread with creams. And what would you like to eat? Well, first emphasis on the bread, but then that there's going to be from January that the Japan-US trade agreement, so that we will be able to have at a lower price the beef. So maybe ham sand will be my next choice. And what are you doing every day, Mr. Hirota? Well, my name is Hirota. Thank you very much. Well, since I turned 50 years old, well, that was when the Tokyo Marathon started. So I thought, well, why don't I try? So I started running, jogging. And basically speaking, before that, I was trying things, but then wore it out in 3 days. However, now I am running and jogging every day. Well, now you are 61 years old and you have renewed your record at a full marathon. Well, the lame person that the 4 hours or less to have a full marathon is the target, and I was able to break the 4-hour time of 53 at 53 years old. And then I was able to record my best earlier, but then since then I was not able to break my record. But I'm sure that you are very busy every day. So for next question for two of you, next year 2020 will be the second Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic. The first one was held in 1964. I would like to ask what you recall then. Well, I was 2 years in the ground school, and I'm from Nagoya. So it's not that I was able to directly see the Tokyo Olympic because I was in Nagoya. But then at the time of the Olympic, I had this lunch services at school, and that was very gorgeous. And I thought, oh, Olympic is a nice thing. And then the second point that I remember is that I think I viewed the games on TV. I watched the TV games. But then after the Olympic, that I went to the movie theater in a school, and then the Tokyo Olympic was the movie that I saw that was directed by Kon Ichikawa and the Arabe and the Chaskovska and the Don't Run the Shredder. Well, I will be able to recall the names very easily. And then the Czechoslovakia, or the Czech, was liberated. Right after that, I had an opportunity to go to the Prague on the business, and then I was able to meet Chakarovska, and that I was very moved. Okay, and I'm sure that there are some people who will be able to sympathize or empathize with you. What about you, Mr. Katanozaka? Well, because I come from Kagoshima city in the south, and I was at the Kamoike elementary school, and I was at the 3rd year in the elementary school, and then next to that there was the airport, and then from Athens to Japan, the Olympic torch was transported by YS-11 to this Kamoike airport, which was very close to my house. And And then from then, the marathon runner is going to run from this Kagoshima to Tokyo and to carry the torch. And then I was a collector of the post stamp. And then you can see on the left-hand side that there's a kind of image of the athletes at the time of 1964, and also that the National Stadium, Olympic Stadium. And then this one, well, it shows the Shinkansen, the bullet train, and also that the highway. Because the triggering of the Olympic of 1964, that was the time after that when there was a more fulfillment of this infrastructure. I really like the Chakalosaka, but then I was very much enjoyed the volleyball games of the women's volleyball game where the Japan was had a victory. So now next is the not the Olympic but the Paralympic, and I think it's the very great game for having an Olympic and Paralympic in Tokyo. But the main theme is like what is going to be the what you expect to Olympics and the legacy. Well, Mr. Katanozaka, well, this the Olympic and Paralympic when it was decided to be held in Japan and Tokyo, I think that you remember that. But we an ANA group, we wanted to have a successful event of this Olympic and Paralympic, and we would like to have all our efforts to support the Olympic and Paralympic as ANA, and we want to increase the presence, and we want to send something out of ANA. And then another thing is that I think it will be very important to materialize the society where we will be able to live together, and so we would like to contribute something. So the ANA and JAL, so not only one company from the one industry, but both companies have subscribed to become the supporter, and both the ANA and JAL became a supporter. And then we would like to bring our have the 2020 2020 the Hello Brew, Hello Future. So to make the 2020 as the everybody's runway for the future. So all that 82 members have made all that efforts, for example, to have a universal design in airport. The important thing is that regardless of the gender, religion, or the country, and regardless of whether handicapped or not, that all the people, many people are coming and landing in the airport, not only from the overseas, but also the Japanese people as well. So we would like to provide a universal service. And also there was an Olympic game design was solicited, and then also that there's a jet, and also that the disabled person or handicapped child will be able to be featured. And also at the Paralympic, I think that there's 3 or 4 wheels per person. And then I went to the opening ceremony at the Rio Olympic together with Ms. Koike governor to bring back this Olympic flag. And but I think for the Olympic or the Paralympic athletes have a lot of wheelchair, not only one, but it will be necessary to have the resin-made wheelchair or to have a wider gate at the airport. So that is what we are endeavoring in order to have a universal design at the airport. What about you, Mr. Hirota? Well, the Rugby World Cup had a lot of excitement, not only in Japan, but also in other countries as well. But I believe that the Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic will be watched more enthusiastically. And there's 3 points. Even though there's a Tokyo Olympic Paralympic, it's not only limited to the Tokyo. I think it's a Japan Olympic Paralympic. In the World Cup, I think many people were able to do the public viewing. So nationwide in Japan, the game were enjoyed by many people. And then so we would like to see the same thing at the Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic. So there will be people watching directly at the venue, and also there there will be a public viewing, as well as those people who are watching on TV. But with the same color, like a polo shirt, or with the same colors, we hope that we will be able to get together and then to cheer the athletes. And then the ASICS is a gold sponsor, and so we are providing a lot of wares and shoes, and also the jigs and tools to the athletes. And we have accumulated knowledge and experiences, and based on that, we hope that the athletes will be able to effuse a very good high performances, and we would like to provide such environment. And through this, we hope that the ASICS brand is going to be more recognized worldwide. And the third point is about the environment, to care to the environment. The ASICS for the official wear to the Japanese athletes, Olympic athletes, as well as to the volunteers, we're going to provide the wares and the clothes. And we hope that the people are going to contribute to as all the wares and clothes that they had a lot of attachments, so that we will be able to melt them and then to reuse that and then to reproduce out of that the new wares. So such we would like to have an environmentally friendly Olympic and Paralympic. We hope that this Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic will be environmentally friendly and people friendly. So I think not only two of you, but all the companies are really supporting the Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic. And from the talks of two of you, like I really was able to feel that. And thank you very much for giving a lot of information. And as was mentioned earlier, in Japan, it's in the midst of the Golden Sports years, and then this year we had the Rugby World Cup, and then next year we're going to have Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic. In 2021 we have the Kansai World Masters Games. So in 3 years in series we are going to have a very big sports event. So now in the Golden Sports years, I think that the world is watching Japan, I believe, from that sense. So I think there will be more and more opportunities to send messages and convey messages out of Japan to the world countries. But what kind of messages do you want to effuse? Can you begin, Mr. Hirota?
As for these Golden Sports years, we hosted a Rugby World Cup and Tokyo Olympic Games, Paralympics, and Kansai World Master Games. As you say, we expect to host all these sports events for 3 years in a row. But first, we'd like to make an environment and a climate where the people enjoy casually about these sports. And according to Aochios, at the age of 18, if you play sports more than once a week, the population is about more than 75%. And at the age of 40, less than 40% of the people enjoy sports less than once a year. And after that, at the age of 70, the rate will become 70%. That will be the statistic. So at the age of 30 or all through the life, I like to have the environment that people can enjoy sports and also live in a healthy way. Now we're a big topic about the work style reform, and we try to strike a balance between the work and life. So in that sense, we like have people enjoy sports more casually. That's one thing. Another thing is about how to diffuse sports, which can be enjoyed by the handicapped people, physically challenged and mentally challenged people, and Paralympic will attract such attention. In order to do that, we need a lot of support and help, and also facility to make it happen. And then we need more volunteer workers, so that physically challenged and also the mentally challenged person can enjoy sports. In 2021, in Kansai region in Western Japan, we hold a World Masters Game, and we're headquartered in Kobe, Western Japan, and we're going to have a Paralympic athletic meet in Kobe, so that we like to make the world where even the people with a handicap can enjoy sports. And how about you, Mr. Katanozaka? We talked about the rugby a lot. So we're very excited, and that moved all the citizens in Japan. And even the non-Japanese players sang the national anthem together. And if you look at the next Tokyo Olympic Games and Paralympic Games and World Master Games, we expect to see that happen. So overseas tourists will come to Japan by plane and also move around Japan for watching games. So as to the question, Japan should be a part of the world, and like Spain, we have COP25. Greta Thunberg, I want to see him because the airline is an embarrassment for the airline companies because it emits CO2. But actually, we try to reduce CO2 emission by 2% annually, and 22. We try not to increase the emission. So we have a number of initiatives for this. So at the year of 2020, Tokyo Olympic and Paralympics, we will utilize biojet fuel to conduct experiment. So we have it to be in line with the global theme, and Japan's theme should be synchronized with the global theme. So I'd like to disseminate this information and also message to all over the world, because we expect to have the overseas tourists in Japan. So we'd like to provide universal service at the airport. So regardless of nationalities and regardless of the health state, we'd like to aim to achieve the society where everyone can get along together. As for the biofuel, what are the raw materials for biofuel you're talking about? Well, in Japan, Izumo Yu-Gurena, it's about most, and another is for the, we have a contract with the company, a vendor. There are many materials, raw materials used for biofuels. Now our objective is to reduce CO2 emission, and that will help to reduce the global warming gas. As for the experiments, so you're going to start with the domestic flight? Well, we already started with the international flights, the airplane coming from the United States, for example. So we provide already the universal design for the airplanes. As for the ESG, well, there's a hot topic about ESG, and that will be one of the topic and the reason for the investment. So everybody is focused, and CEO companies are also focused on ESG. I talked with the top of the bankers and also the security firms, and I visited in the US to talk, have the investors, and I was able to meet with the person in Bloomberg, and TCFG, and also the ESG is the keyword. So that is the energy strategy of Japan is in line with the global strategies. So this dialogue is very important. Talking about sports event, well, that lead to the business and that lead to the new business. So environment and sports and business, they are interlinked together. And Hirota-san, I'd like to ask you, we talked about sports a lot. ASICS is in the sports industry, obviously, in your business. How about your branding strategies? What are the things that you want to cherish most? What we cherish most is the Japanese technology. So based upon the high technology or scale of Japanese, we like to make shoes easier, and also and also to provide a comfortable shoes so that runners can run for a long period of time and in a safe way. So that's how we like to disseminate our branding. As for the Katanozaka-san, and how about your branding as Anna? in New York and Frankfurt, I moved the new business class service. It's called the room, and we like to provide new service one after another. Another point is that we like to provide universal service all over the world, regardless of nationalities or health conditions or gender or age. Everyone can, get access to the airline service in an easy way. Well, we heard about the 3 C's from Governor Koike, and the last one, it shows you it's about longevity and long-time happiness. That will be the eternal theme for us. But we're talking about the sports population, and it's increasing in number nowadays. We expect to have the increasing number of sports population. What are the prospects and also challenges for the lifelong sports population? Personally, you're playing golf or the jog or running, so that will be the last question. What is the prospects and challenges ahead? Mr. Katanozaka, please. We employed athlete workers, 40 of them. One of them is participate in Rio Paralympic, and Takuya Tsuga, he's the bronze medalist, and also in Paralympic and both for Olympic Games. We like to make an environment where the athlete can work after they won the medals. It's very close, and we like to work together. We like to make that trend. That's a wonderful initiative. Thank you very much. How about you, Mr. Hirota? We talk about the percentage of the sports population and the rate of people who enjoy more than one sports once a week. Well, so after the middle age, you just swim, go to the gym, or jog or walk. At the age of 40 or 50, they don't start playing rugby, for instance. Therefore, we like to make provide some space so that people can enjoy sports. So we like to collaborate together with the municipalities. And as a legacy, we like to utilize the venues or the stadium after the Olympic Games, so that we like to provide some space so that everybody can enjoy sports casually. So as an ASICS, we like to make contribution. In Toyosu, you are now building your facility as an ASICS. Yes, we like to provide some space for sports. That's our mission. For low oxygen facility, that's for the sports, and that's located in Toyosu. We like to, beyond 2020, we like to keep up the good momentum. So you don't have to go to, if you go to the Toyosu, you can enjoy. Sorry for the Anna, for bouldering. You don't have to go to the United States, but with the low oxygen environment, you can train yourself in Toyosu. So if you want to go to the real original place, you have to take a flight to Vienna and go to the United States. Oh, sorry, it's running out of time. I'd like to ask more questions, but I'd like to wrap up the session. Thank you very much.